Of all the licensed properties in the world, G.I. Joe is probably the one I have been most excited about in terms of video game translation. With a rich cast of heroic characters and iconic villains, a slew of recognizable vehicles, and the fusion of futuristic military with ninja swordplay, the classic action figure line should make for a thrilling action title. Sadly, we never got a game based on the G.I. Joe franchise of the 80s. Instead, EA brings us a game tie-in to the upcoming movie G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. While it does put versions of my favorite casually dressed military personnel in an action game, it mostly just disappoints. G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra is a third-person action title with a focus on co-op play and run-and-gun action. You choose your favorite Joe and a partner who can be controlled by either the computer or a friend, and dive into hordes of Cobra troopers. Characters are split into three categories: commandos with powerful melee and weak range skills, heavy gunners with powerful guns and slow melee attacks, and combat soldiers who split the difference. Despite all of the Joes fitting into one of three categories, there's actually a nice variety of abilities between characters. For example, both Heavy Duty and Backblast are heavy gunners, and as such can open the same types of character class specific doors. But while Heavy Duty fires a powerful machine gun, Backblast launches mortars at his enemies. Each character also features a special fire mode that delivers huge damage, and these are as unique as the primary weapons. In addition, once a meter fills up, every character can utilize the movie-inspired accelerator suits, which increase firepower and grant temporary invulnerability. These suits make more difficult sections of the game a breeze, but don't add much in the way of strategy or fun. In the great G.I. Joe tradition, The Rise of Cobra allows you to fire indiscriminately throughout the whole game. There's no reloading, no running out of ammo, and no aiming necessary. Simply facing the right direction and laying on the right trigger will auto-target Cobra troopers, though a flick of the right stick will switch your target. Other than running and firing, the only real mechanic in the game is the cover system, which tries to emulate Gears of War's mechanic. Pressing A near some walls will put you into cover where you avoid all incoming fire and quickly regenerate health. The second press will make you vault over the wall. While the mechanic works for the most part, it can be obstinate, refusing to allow you to take cover behind cover-eligible walls and occasionally refusing to let you leave cover. G.I. Joe's two-player co-op gameplay is perfect for online play. Sadly, EA decided that the game didn't need to be online, and so there are no online features, leaving only the one- or two-player campaign mode, complete with its inane, nonsensical plot. Bad news, kids, this movie can't be any good. There are some unlockables to find, including new characters, file cards, and even playable Cobra characters, but nothing that really begs players to keep coming back for more. Vehicle sections pop up now and again to break up the otherwise non-stop gunplay, but controlling the various tanks and jeeps is an absolute chore. Every so often, you'll take control of an orbiting satellite in order to hold off advancing troops. These sections play much like Missile Command and fare much better than the vehicular sections.
Wow, look at you. Still alive.
At first glance, G.I. Joe's visual presentation would make many think that it's a downloadable Xbox Live or PlayStation Network game. That's not a good thing. For a full retail game, G.I. Joe is something of a graphical embarrassment. Extremely low poly environments, muddy textures, sloppy animations, and laughable environmental effects all contribute to one of the worst-looking current generation games on shelves today. To make matters worse, players have no control over their camera. Instead, the game steers the action, and while the camera work is usually pretty solid, there are instances where you'll find yourself hidden behind environmental elements or fighting enemies that you can't see at all. The game's sound, however, is much better and features tracks from the film, many of which are epic reimaginings of the classic's cartoon themes. Even in the world of movie tie-in games, G.I. Joe feels cheaply slapped together. It's funny because the game isn't terrible in any way, it's just kind of inconsequential and doesn't do anything particularly well. Asking $50 for a title of this quality is a travesty. It really should have been a downloadable title and should have cost around $15 to $20. If this were the case, I'd have no problem recommending it to fans of the cartoon and anyone interested in the upcoming shitball of a movie. As a retail release, however, it's not close to being worth the price tag. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check Gamervision.com for the full text review.